What is up, everybody? It's University here today, and we're gonna talk about RockSteady. Apparently, it's been hit with a bunch of layoffs after Suicide Squad kills the Justice League, underperforms. The game was a major flop. We know about this already. They're gonna cut apparently 33 staff to 15. They're gonna cut a lot of staff. They're gonna cut a lot of staff from that department, from that studio right there. Is anybody shocked by this? Not really. And it's like, it sucks people lose their jobs, but it is expected when this game flopped so horribly. And this is coming from the people who made the amazing Batman Arkham trilogy. Being reduced to the Suicide Squad kill the Justice League garbage. What are we doing here? I was like, this is a rude awakening for these people. You literally have the template for great, amazing superhero games, and you turn it into this generic Fortnite slop with DC skins. It's like, no wonder your game is no wonder this game is doing terrible. So I'm not really shocked by this. There's a plethora of games that could have went with. People wanted to see a Batman Beyond game, a Superman game, a Wonder Woman game, a Justice League game, even a TMNT game. A lot of options you can choose from. Even with the Suicide Squad, you could have did that, but why are we making multiplayer games? A multiplayer co-op games we fight against generic enemies. It's just like, why? It's like you have the template for a great single player superhero game, but you just choose not to go with it. So not really shocked by the results. People getting laid off, but kind of needed to happen, because just how does this even happen? When I first played Batman Arkham Asylum, when that game first released, I thought that was the most amazing game ever made. Now, turn it to 2024 and they released this garbage. I'm like, how did you go from that to this? Obviously, people who made the big decisions at RockSteady has left over the years. That's why this game has turned out like this, because there's no way that you get from Batman Arkham Asylum to this garbage. No way. So, people need to go. It is what it is. Let's see what people got to say about this right here. They need to stick to their single-player games because live service is not working for them. So many companies, live service is not working for. I don't know why the industry decided that, hey, we just want to make a big push for live service games. It's not it. A lot of people, like myself included, just want to play single-player games. We don't care about the multiplayer. We don't care about the live service games, the games as a service games. We just play amazing single-player games. A lot of people just want that in their gaming experiences. So I'm trying to chase the Fortnite trend. Fortnite is a one of a kind type of thing. Everybody's trying to chase that dragon. It's not gonna work. It's just not. Hate to see it. I mean, it isn't surprising at this point. Wow, it's almost like a bad idea to give a team who's never worked on a live service game to make one when nobody asked them to. Yeah. They fired the wrong people. It's their DEI department that is the hindrance to profits. Yes, let's blame diversity, equity. What is it? Diversity. I don't even know what it stands for, but something about diversity. That's what DEI stands for. Yes, that's the big hindrance here, because somebody cares that the main character is Harley Quinn. Well, she's a big, popular character in the DC comics anyway. People who get on about this cultural nonsense is so stupid. They don't literally blame anything on diversity. When it's like, no, nobody wanted a Suicide Squad game. One of the most anticipated superhero games looking forward to is a Wonder Woman game. So no, it's not about diversity. It's just that nobody wants a generic Fortnite looking game with a DC skin on it. Especially for the people who made the Batman Arkham games. It's like, no, DI is not the excuse. It's not the end-all, be-all excuse for why everything flops. People fight this imaginary war saying, hey, the game with the DI laws. But it's like, no. Even though this is pretty ridiculous. What I'm looking at right here, that is kind of ridiculous. Well, let's continue. It's sad how this almost feels inevitable when a big game flops now. Kinda. I was like, what, do you even trust them to make a game now at this point? I don't even trust RockSteady to make a game now at this point in time when they made this garbage. And then we had what was the other one? Gotham Knights. People gave that game an excuse because it wasn't made by RockSteady, but then when they released this one, they released the official RockSteady game, people got let down tenfold. So Gotham Knights had a great story, great visuals, cutscenes and all that, but the gameplay was very mediocre. It was very mediocre. So, as always, the wrong people are getting fired. Yeah, those higher ups who made this game be worked on for 8 years, they should have been fired. It's probably sadly it's probably not gonna be them who get fired. It's probably gonna be the people in the lower positions gonna get fired. But the people who okayed this game to be made, this generic shooting game, they should have got fired. Executives fail to read the market, make poor decisions based on readings. Game flops because no one wanted it. Workers lay it off, repeat. It amazes me how this keeps happening and we all see it coming. Every time, whatever studio makes Concord will be next. Yeah, pretty much. Firewalk, yeah, people who make Concord as Firewalk Studios looking like sweating heavy because they know their time is next. Not surprising people were counting on another Arkham-like experience. Instead, we got the Wish version of Crackdown 2 of microtransactions. Oh, man. The only surprising thing about this is how long it took. Yeah, I don't know why it takes so long to copy a Fortnite game, but yeah, here you go. Oof. I wonder how many of the WB executives who forced RockSteady to make a live service game got fired. My guess is none of them. Probably not. Trash game, so this was expected. Imagine having the easiest cash cow in the world with Arkham Beyond with Terry McGinnis, and then doing this instead. And then another thing about this too, this whole live service focus, it's kind of like they didn't read the room with the whole Avengers game flopping. It's like the MCU was very big at the time when that game released. MCU was a top franchise in the movie industry at the time being, and you didn't see how that game flopped. You thought you were gonna do better. It is just laughable. That's just laughable at this point in time. You mean the property who owns the MCU failed, but you thought you were going to do better? Like, no. There's no way. WB did this to themselves by making a game not a single person asked for and wasting 7 to 8 years making it. Bring back single player games. I'll take DLCs, but none of this live service BS. I agree. Single player games are where it's at. I'll stand by that. It was like I prefer to play a single player game over a multiplayer or co-op one, to be honest. Hate to see it, but I feel even more to come. I think WB games will be radically different next year. If they are even alive, if they're even around next year. Everybody who said we should make another awesome single-player game should be promoted. Everybody who said we should make a trend-chasing live service cash card game should be fired from top to bottom. Agree. This is what happens when you make a game for a non-existent audience just to the virtue signal people. Okay. Anyone celebrating this as a good thing / something these staff deserved are idiots. Okay, why are people idiots for thinking they deserve to be fired? None of them will have been responsible for the decisions that lead to this game's problems. They're the regular folks who have to put the higher-ups, the ones actually responsible for visions together. Well, then I don't care which person at the higher-ups, they should get fired too then. Whoever's responsible for making this game should be let go. Like, this game is trash. Nobody wanted this. It's like you shouldn't have a job at that point. The people responsible for conjuring up the worst aspects / designs of this crappy game are still gainfully employed, but the people who were in the front lines pulling in grueling work to make this structural disaster a barely shippable product are canned, make it make sense. Yeah, I agree. The higher up should get more punishment, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, they made a bad product and people got laid off. It is what it is. This person states that Sweet Baby fanboys will say Sweet Baby isn't the problem. It's just fascinating how this Sweet Baby company, I believe, has like less than 100 people, whereas that's now the boogeyman of the gaming industry. Like, really? It's like, no, Sweet Baby isn't responsible for this game flopping. This game flopping because it's generic games as a service nonsense that nobody wanted. It doesn't have anything to do with diversity or whatever people think the Sweet Baby is responsible for. This game was just trash. So once again, people trying to blame it on diversity, and that's not the issue for every case. It's just dumb. That's not the goal. be all to any conversation. So I think something that's bad or not. Yep, stacking the QA department is going to help. Yeah, they probably shouldn't get rid of that. I don't really care. I honestly don't care about RockSteady anymore at this point. Like, to be honest, I don't care about RockSteady. It was like RockSteady died when when he got done making the Arkham trilogy. At that point, they were dead. At that point, it was like this current RockSteady isn't even the ones who made the trilogy anyway. So they're pretty much dead to me anyway. Like, this game was trash. They don't even stand in the same pedigree as the Arkham trilogy. So I can care less. Them being laid off, this game being a flop, it's well deserved. So those are my thoughts about this. Definitely want to see your thoughts down below about this. Leave a like for this video, and as always, thanks for watching, and peace.